Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Umar with Zero Guilt LLC. I'm going to walk you through on how to use the Addlas network with the companion Android app. I'm going to go through it pretty fast. Okay, so let's dive right in. When you first launch Atlas, you're going to be presented with a login screen. So just go ahead and hit the register button if you're not already a registered user of Atlas. Yeah, and if you're thinking like, oh man, how come I can't just log in with my Facebook or Twitter or any other social media? It's because I didn't want to load my app up with a ton of external corporate dependencies who can wield control over my app whenever they feel like it. So you're going to actually have to manually register for the Atlas network. And I really like having humans as users and not robots. So that's another reason why you have to register. After you register, you should receive an email verification with a link for you to click on. If you don't get it within like 10, maybe 15 minutes, just go ahead and contact me so we can fix it for you. But you have to verify your email before you can use Atlas, so please don't put in like baloneyphony at gmail.com or something like that, you know. You should go ahead and check the remember me box when you first log into Atlas because the login screen is the default screen, so you'll probably be hitting the screen a lot, so you can just hit sign in without having to re-input your credentials every time. Okay, and this overflow menu has a change password and log out. Nice share button for you to share your wonderful experience on Atlas. So you hit the little navigation drawer and you're going to be presented with a few options. So the first option is the option that you're going to use the most. It's Get Shows, which gets all the shows that Atlas is actually commercial blocking in the times. So when you hit Get Show, you're going to be presented with a bunch of different cards that represent the shows. Right now, these are just placeholder shows. Show one, time one, just represent what this show will be. For example, if this is a football game, it'll say the name of the game and the time. Right now, the times are going to be all Central US time. So, depending on how many shows are actually being monitored by the Addlas contributor at the time, that's how many cards you'll have. So if you don't do anything else on the screen, you'll still see the commercial status with this little camera in the right hand corner of each card. So if it's not on commercial, you'll see the camera looking like this, but when it goes to commercial, it'll change to something like that. It'll just look like a little camera with a crossed out camera. But if the show's not actually actively being monitored at that time, the image will look like this. It'll actually go to a an X with a circle around it, meaning that it's actually not being monitored at that time, probably because it's either the show's either over or the show hasn't started yet. So if you see those X's, there's no commercial blocking going on at that time. So if you want Atlas to mute your TV or device when a commercial comes on the show that you're watching, you're just gonna hit monitor and then you can hit mute on commercial, and you got to change your priority. This is a priority number picker. You just change that priority one and then you hit connect. Anytime that show goes on commercial, Atlas is going to mute your television, and when that show comes back from commercial, it's going to unmute your television. And anytime you want to make changes to what shows you're monitoring, or if you want to do audible status, mute commercials, whatever, disconnect first before you make those changes, because you may have issues if you try to make those changes without actually disconnecting from the actual Atlas network. The audible channel status kind of works the same way as the mute on commercials. Check that box and Atlas will notify you when a commercial is on that channel or when the commercial is not on that channel. So if it's on commercial, it'll play this sound, and when it's not on commercial, it'll play this sound. You don't need infrared capabilities for the audible channel status. Okay, and last but not least, the channel changing when a commercial comes on your TV. So if there's three shows being monitored by Atlas, you can watch all three shows at the same time. Technically, basically Atlas will change the channel on your TV based on the priorities you have set for the shows. So for simplicity's sake, if show 1 is your priority number 1, show 2 is your priority number 2, show 3 is your priority number 3, when show 1 goes on commercial, Atlas will change the channel to show 2. If show 2 is on commercial, when show 1 goes to commercial, it's going to change the channel to show 3. And if show 3, show 2, and show 1 are on commercial, then if you actually have entered a backup channel using this backup button, Atlas will change your TV to the backup channel that you designated if all three shows are on commercial. So Atlas will navigate to the show based on the priority you set. So all you have to do is hit monitor show, enter the channel number that is specific to that show in your location, and then set the priority for that show and connect, and Atlas will navigate your TV channels based on the priority you've set. So let's talk a minute about infrared and IR blasters. And an IR blaster looks like this. So if you don't have one of these, then you're not going to be able to automatically change the channel. You're not going to be able to automatically mute your device either. But you should be able to do the audible channel status, and you will be able to see the visual image changing if it's on a commercial or not, even if you don't have an IR blaster. So if you don't know if you have an IR blaster, go ahead and check out your phone, or you can check this link out in the description below. Going back to the navigation section, hit configure. When you hit configure, you're going to be presented with a bunch of devices. I'm not going to show the devices here for copyright reasons. I don't want to get sued showing any of the manufacturer's information on this video, because I'm not endorsed by any TV or set-top box manufacturer. But when you click that button, you'll see a ton of device brands. You just click the device brand that you have, the one that you want to control, and a little virtual remote will pop up. You can just test out the numbers and the mute button on that virtual device to see if that device on Addlas is compatible. Not every single device known to man is compatible, so you may have a TV or set-top box that's not infrared compatible with Addlas, which is fine, but you should use this configure section to test that. And you need to configure the device before you actually calibrate the infrared. So when you go back to the navigation, hit the infrared calibration, IR calibration, and this is a pretty cool section. So when your channel's changing, some devices are different. So some devices you could press a channel and then wait a while before you press your next channel, and then it'll take forever to actually navigate to that channel. Depending on what device you have, some you have to hurry up and press the buttons before it tries to navigate to any channel that you put in. So the time between channel number section seeks to mitigate this issue. So if you know that your device needs to have its channel numbers put in immediately, then you would have a smaller millisecond number. If your device can't read infrared that fast, then you might want to put a larger millisecond delay between each number transmission to your device. And that slider will allow you to make that adjustment. And then when you hit calibrate channel change, it will actually enter more than one number to see how well your device receives the infrared transmission from your IR device. The delay IR send slider seeks to mitigate the differences in programming across the country. So we may be watching the same shows in different locations, but you may receive a signal faster than I am, or this location may be receiving a signal faster than this location. So if you actually delay IR send, if you are noticing that Addlas is changing the channel before commercials come on, or it's changing the channel back to the show you're watching before commercials go off, you can adjust this delay IR send to sync up the Addlas network with your specific location. This unfortunately doesn't help with a situation where Addlas is slower than your actual programming. If your programming is faster than the Addlas network, Addlas will always be behind it. You can't slow down your programming to sync up Addlas. So, and the auto accept / OK after IR sent checkbox is just in case you want Addlas to confirm a channel navigation. Some devices you could type in the channel number and hit OK, and it will go to that channel faster than if you wait for the tuner to actually navigate to that channel by itself. That's just like saying OK when Addlas enters the channel. OK, accept. Some devices don't have this feature, so check it if you wanted to do that. If not, that's fine. And that's pretty much the gist of it. A common issue you might face if you make a bunch of changes when the app is running and connect and disconnect. There may be some stuff in the app's memory that may not allow new changes to take place, in which case just make sure that you close the app. Don't hit the home button, just actually close the app and restart the app, which takes no time at all, and make those changes that you want to do. Basically start with a fresh slate. The app is still in development. I'm continuing to develop it. Please Send me show recommendations that you would like to have commercial blocked. Rate the app, share the app. Let me know what improvements can be made, what features don't need to be there. Okay, so that's it. I hope Atlas helps you avoid wasting your time watching commercials and allows you to consume more content without the commercials. Okay, take it easy. Peace.